Yo, what's up, guys? So today we are doing week 4 of Sunnyshore League, and this is against Skaggerakk, who is actually one of the OG members. I think he's actually one of the ones that started it even. But yeah, enough of that. Let's get right into the team build. So this is the teams first. My team on the left, his one on the right. So as you can see, he has quite a lot of threats. He's got zero aura. That's a big threat to like any draft. You know, very fast, plenty of coverage, low pony, perfect coverage, very fast. Hits pretty hard. Victini, yep. Manafi, yep. These are all big threats with a lot of coverage and setup moves. Haxorus, Crocodile, Scavalier, Rillaboom as well. It's just a team full of all-out threats. Really, it's just pure offense. So kind of scary to build against, but nonetheless, we did find some weaknesses with this draft, and that's how we're gonna start it. So here's my team. So I started with this Drapion, and the reason for that is because let's look at his team. Right, he has no poison type, and he has no removal. I think his only removal is a Subat, which is just defog, and Subat even loses to Drapion, so it's not like it can really defog on Drapion either. So I just saw like Toxic Spike staying up throughout the whole of the battle. That's why I bought it. I just thought it's gonna be very useful because it was just like guaranteed to stay up, and it's gonna punish everything. Like, you know, Zero Aura gets hit, Lopunny, Victini, Vanafi, Crook, Haxorus, Rilla, Boom, and Rampidus. So only Escavalier, Suba, and Miss Magius do not get hit. So yeah, that's why Toxic Spikes was like literally perfect here. There's no reason that I should not bring it. And to be honest, you know, the whole of the team kind of revolves around Toxic Spikes. So I kind of just like pivot around his threats while relying on Toxic Spikes to stall him out. So yeah, I mean that's what Drapion did. Drapion could also act like as an emergency mismagius check, and yeah, going into the set itself. So the EVs avoided the KO from Fake Out, followed by High Jump Kick from Lopunny, and of course the Focus Sash guarantees it lives everything else from like anything, and you know that way I guarantee Toxic Spikes, and of course we have Battle Armor to avoid any crits, especially from Lopunny. Yeah, I believe it just outspeeds Crook, max HP hits that benchmark for Lopunny, and then the rest in attack. So obviously you got a stab knockoff, yeah, best move in the game, whatever. Brick Break hits everything that knockoff doesn't, so it hits like Crocodile, Lopunny. Yeah, it just runs off the coverage. Didn't really want Poison Jab, especially because that makes Crook like hard wall me, and Poison Jab didn't really hit anything that like Brick Break didn't for a lot more damage, especially because I had knock anyway. So yeah, and lastly we have a Whirlwind. So Whirlwind was there for mainly Manaphy and Haxorus because, you know, they are faster, so I can't taunt them. And Whirlwind made them that way, you know, I prevent Tail Glow and Dragon Dance or Sword Stance, because this thing is obviously pretty passive, no attack investment, and it's not going to hit hard at all. It's just there to set up Toxic Spikes, and yeah, that's it. So next up we have Tangrowth. So basically these two, Tangrowth and Gudra, they are the pivots around his offense, while I rely on Toxic Spikes to whittle him away, and that's how we started it. So Tangrowth here is fantastic. It's a hard check to Zero Aura, hard check to Lopunny, it's a hard check to Rillaboom, Crocodile counter. It can also act like as an emergency check to boosted Haxorus. And yeah, I mean, it's just there to like pivot around his threats. And you know, that's what Helmet did. It just punishes their physical moves that much more. So Helmet plus poison damage is just gonna whittle away at him like really fast. You know, Zero Aura, Lopunny, Haxorus, Crook, they all use like contact moves. So Helmet was really useful. And anyway, I didn't really need leftovers because I have like Regenerator and Synthesis to recover health. So you know, I can secure momentum, and leftovers wouldn't have been that useful here. Yeah, I mean the moves. So I mean we are max defense just to like better check like Lopunny, Zero Aura, and all the other threats that I just mentioned. And we have Giga Drain as just stab. You know, pseudo recovery, stab, it hits like Crook, Manaphy, Lopunny. You know, since it's stab, it's like the most neutral damage you can get. Then we have knockoff as well, I'm always gonna run knockoff. I don't really need anything else in this particular matchup. and knockoff also punishes like the easy Escavalier switching. And then we have Leech Seed. So Leech Seed was there because I didn't want to run Toxic because Escavalier was there, and I don't have Hidden Power Fire because Hidden Power is gone from the game. So I thought, you know, since Escavalier was such an easy switch in, I'd rather like knock off it rather than like having Toxic, which would be useless. And I could also run Leech Seed on the Escavalier to kind of whittle away at it and switch to something else to make it an easier switching. So yeah, I mean, Leech Seed was just like better than Toxic in this matchup, kind of just like an easy move to spam, and it even helps against like whatever tank is trying to wall. And of course we do have Synthesis for some much needed longevity. I can use it again on like low pony using close combat and all that stuff. So that's what Tangrowth did. Next up we have Goodra. So Goodra pretty much checked everything that Tangrowth didn't. So for example, you have like Victini would blow past Tangrowth, Manaphy would blow past Tangrowth. Yeah, I mean, you got special attackers like Miss Magus that would blow past Tangrowth. So then we've got Goodra. So yeah, Goodra was there to cover what Tang was weak to, and honestly vice versa. So what Goodra loses to, Tang covers. So we went max defense. That made it act as like a hard Victini switch in. It made it take weak rate like very easily with that resist. And then of course like Bolt Strike, then Headbutt, they were easy to take with this max defense. And of course Goodra's special defense is colossal, so we didn't worry about special moves or anything. Yeah, I mean that's what it really was. It was a hard Victini switch in because, you know, nothing else on my team was actually a good Victini switch in. You know, Quagsire can get grass knotted and everything else kind of dies to like recreate. So I mean Slowking would die to Bolt Strike as well. So yeah, that's what Goodra did. I mean also it easily switches into like nasty form Miss Magus and can, you know, phase it out with Dragon Tail, which bypasses Taunt. Same for Calm Mind, Simple Subat, that could be a threat. So this thing's here to phase that out, deal a little damage in the process. And yeah, I mean also it could act like a soft Manaphy check because, you know, with that defense, that special defense with max HP, it takes Ice Beam at +3, and then we could just phase it out with Dragon Tail. Yeah, so I don't need Sapsipper in this matchup. I know he got Rillaboom, but I have like so many checks to Rillaboom. I have Tornadoes, I have Sizzle, I have Tangrowth. I just thought Sapsipper, I did not need it. So Gooey was there as like some additional utility. So for example, since we are max defense, we can live +1 Earthquake or close combat from Haxorus. So he's kind of forced to Outrage, and Outrage is contact. So he's going to hit me, his speed is going to drop back to neutral after a Dragon Dance, and then anything else can revenge kill that Haxorus. So that's what Gooey was there. He also, yeah, I mean, you know, he also like slowed down low pony, Zero or anything else using contact moves, and that would be useful for like Torn or Kirku to finish off. Yeah, and then we got Dragon Tail, so we got Fire Punch for Escavalier. Otherwise, Escavalier kind of like hard walled this, and I didn't like that because that looked like a big momentum drain. So I needed Fire Punch to prevent that. And to be honest, it's not like this Goodra is out here to deal damage. It's just there to kind of pivot around and rely on Toxic Spikes to whittle him away. So yeah, and then of course we do have Rest and Sleep Talk for the much needed longevity because Victini was still hitting pretty hard with like, if it was Choice Band Recreate, then that's hitting pretty hard. So yeah, we did need that longevity. So next up we have Coco. So the main reason for this is because obviously Manaphy was still a big threat. I mean, Tangrowth is not a check, and Goodra, it can take 1 +3 Ice Beam, but obviously you can't rely on that. You know, you need to be at like full health. Also, you can only take it once, so that's why we have a Coco to is there to revenge kill Manaphy. So yeah, I mean it's there like Manaphy cannot be a threat with Coco here. Coco will always be there to revenge kill Manaphy. You know, with Scarf, we have a Stab, Terrain Boosted Wild Charge. But the reason for Scarf, well, this can also act like a check to +1 Haxorus, and also like Rock Polish Rampardos. Also, you know, it can act as a check to Subat as well, like Calm Mind Subat. We have a physical move to just bypass the Calm Minds and hit him hard with Wild Charge for the 1-hit KO. All in all, you know, Scarf in this matchup looks like really good because, you know, Revenge Kill was a +1 Haxorus. Yeah, outspeed Zero Aura for like a surprise KO. Same for Lopunny, I can just surprise close combat it for a 1-hit KO. And you know, I didn't really need, like, I didn't mind being locked into a move. Like, this looked like the kind of matchup where I could afford to be locked into a move pretty easily. And especially because of U-turn, I can like pivot around a lot, and I have like spammable, play rough and close combat, and then wild charge for Manaphy really. So yeah, Scarf was like fantastic in this matchup. Like, if you think about it, like Scarf 1v1's Lopunny, it would 1v1 Zero Aura. 1-hit KO Manaphy is there to revenge kill Victini, close combat Crocodile, play rough the Haxorus. So yeah, Scarf was like fantastic in this matchup. And yeah, the set is so the EVs outspeed Mismagius. That was like the fastest thing I can see being scarfed on his team. Obviously Zero Aura will not be scarfed, and Lopunny is a Mega. So Mismagius is the fastest one after those two, so that's why I just outsped Mismagius. Actually, no, Subat is faster than that, but Subat was not going to be scarfed. No way he was going to be scarfed. That's just like a very bad set. So yeah, that's what Coco did. We have Max Attack Adamant, enough for Mismagius, and then the rest in HP. So yeah, next up we have Mega Sizzle. So Mega Sizzle, I think the primary role was to check Haxorus, hence the max defense, because like Haxorus looked a bit, you know, scary to play around because you know, it hits hard and it can run Swords Dance or Dragon Dance. So, you know, for example, I can't really switch Tangrowth into it because Swords Dance would blow through that, and obviously Rudra would get smacked up. So, you know, it blows through my bulk, is what I'm saying. That's why I needed something that can reliably switch into it and act as a check. And especially with like T-Spikes there and Coco to revenge kill, Mega Sizzle kind of like rounded it off as a defensive switch in. If Coco was down, Mega Sizzle is there to pick it off if Coco was down. And yeah, I mean, Play Rough from Coco could also miss, is because it's 90 accuracy, so if Play Rough missed, then I'm in trouble, hence Mega Sizzle is here as well. Yeah, I mean, yeah, max defense lets it take like +2 close combat after rocks with ease. And of course, yeah, Mega Sizzle could also help Tangrowth not get overwhelmed, because Tangrowth is checking a lot here, but Mega Sizzle can also act as a switch into like Crocodile, Escavalier, which neither, actually yeah, Escavalier as well, because neither Ghidra or Tangrowth can check that. Like Mega Horn, it's just going to hit too hard. So Mega Sizzle checks that as well. Hence we have like knockoff to knock off whatever Escavalier is holding, especially like a Choice Band. And also it does switch into Rillaboom as well. So yeah, I mean, Rillaboom also can run like acrobatics for Tangrowth, which can be quite troublesome. So Mega Sizzle is there for that as well. It just kind of like rounds off the defensive core really well. And also we offered some useful priority, and I could see that priority being, you know, very good in the later stages of the game when everything's like whittled down through the toxic spikes. So yeah, that's what Mega Sizzle did. It was main Escavalier switch in, emergency check to Haxorus, and of course just like pivot around a lot of other things. So yeah, I mean, Bullet Punch is there, priority, stab, knockoff was like mainly for Escavalier, and of course just general utility. Then we've got U-turn to maintain momentum, which would be very useful in this matchup. And then we've got Roost. So last off we have Tornadus Tyrion. So Tornadus basically like rounds off the team perfectly. You know, it was something that was faster than Manaphy to revenge kill, so you know that reduces the burden on Coco. It's a ground immunity, and it can pivot around like Crocodile, Escavalier, Rillaboom. But yeah, mainly it's just like having another fast Pokemon to provide insurance against his threats, because this outspeeds everything except Zera and Lopunny, so you know it can put in a lot of work, especially with that coverage. Like it hits everything on his team really hard. So Tornadus looked like really good here as like an insurance and a bit like a cleaner as well. And you know, I kind of had all these threats covered, so the last spot was kind of like luxury. So that's why I bought Tornadus. Yeah, all in all, it just puts in a lot of work against him. Like we have acrobatics. Yeah, we went physical. I didn't want to rely on Hurricane, especially because I kind of needed this to hit Manaphy. So we went adamant, acrobatics, outspeeding Mismagius like Coco. Yeah, I mean, look at it. We have like we can knock off Zero Aura, we can Acrobatics Lopunny, knock off Victini, Acrobatics Manaphy, Superpower Crocodile, Acrobatics Haxorus, Heatwave the Escavalier, Acrobatics Rillaboom, knock off the Mismagius and Suiba, and Superpower Rampardos. Like, it outspeeds a lot of things and has a chance to do a lot of damage or outright 1 KO. So that's what this was there for. So yeah, I mean, all in all, it's just like a really solid team. Like, if I were to review it, like for Zero Aura, we have Tangrowth, we have Tangrowth for Zero Aura, and like Scarf Coco, and even a physical defensive Gudra. For Lopunny, we have Tangrowth, we have max defense Sizzle. Won't really like taking Fire Punch, but I mean, it can still do something. We also have Scarf Coco for Lopunny. For Victini, we have Gudra, and we have 2 things that outspeed it and can potentially 1 KO. Manaphy, we have Gudra, we have Coco, we have Tornadus, Crook, we have Tangrowth, we have Sizzle, we have Tornadus, Haxorus, we have Mega Sizzle, and then a Scarf Coco, and Toxic Spikes to whittle it down, and Dragon Tail, Gudra, and Whirlwind, Drapion to like prevent setup and everything. Escavalier, Mega Scissor hard counters, Rillaboom, Tangrowth, Gudra, Sizzle, Tornadus, Mismagius, we've got Drapion, Gudra, Coco and Torn to outspeed. Subat, we have Scarf Coco, Drapion, a phasing Gudra, and then on Rampardos we have like Tangrowth, Bullet Punch, Mega Sizzle, Scarf Coco. So yeah, I mean, everything in this team is like really well covered, so I was like very confident heading into this battle. So yeah, here is the battle. Alright, so his team is pretty standard, kind of expected. No Zero Aura is quite nice, I guess. Makes Coco a lot more spammable. But yeah, otherwise it is just threats as expected. So yeah, turn 1, I of course the Drapion for the guaranteed Toxic Spikes. And he has no removal, not even Subat, so yeah, them Toxic Spikes are staying. So that's what I do, as he leads Victini. Goes for a U-turn, I eat that very nicely as I set out my Toxic Spikes. Now he sends in Drapion, so I mean Crocodile. So I think, okay, Drapion at 82 can still be useful as a check to Mismagius and kind of as a sack as well, so I thought I might as well make the switch to Tangrowth because it hard rolls this. So that's what I do, I go to Tangrowth as he lays up his rocks. So now, expecting him to switch out, I go for my knockoff, but he stays in and knocks off himself. I guess not really fearing or feeling brave. I guess it's a predict, but yeah, he has a Yash Berry. So now he taunts, and I'm thinking, okay, if you want to stay in, I'm just going to Giga Drain anyway. I don't really have much to lose, so I do that. I do Giga Drain as he taunts, and I leave him at 2%. And now him being so low, I just go for a knockoff because it kills anyway, and if he switches out, it's even better. So yeah, that's what happens. Now at turn 6, he sends in Victini. Of course, I'm going to save the Tangrowth, and I'm going to make my switch to this dedicated check, Gudra, as V-Create does 33. So that's not choice banded. So now we know it's not choice banded. As you can see, Gooey gives him the double speed drop, he's now at half speed. We get some leftovers, so we do switch in, and now obviously, oh yeah, no, he reveals heavy duty boots obviously because he didn't take the Toxic Spikes. So yeah, he is boots, which is actually quite worrying because now I don't get to chip away at it and I have to rely on like Coco and Tornadus to kill it. But yeah, expecting him to switch out, I do go for Dragon Tail. It's my hardest way to hit this anyway, and if he switches out, of course, even better. So I do go for Dragon Tail. Goes to Mismagius, which takes a clean 41%, so very good there. And here comes Haxorus. So the Toxic Spikes gets his Lumberry, and wanting to keep Gudra for Victini, I go to my counter to this, which is Max Defense Mega Sizzle. And he goes for a Poison Jab. Interesting play. I eat that for days. So here I'm thinking he should switch out, so I just go for a clean knockoff, as it is the most punishable play. But no, the man has no fear and just stays into Dragon Dance. So I think, okay, I'm just going to use Bullet Punch twice to kill him off, as he goes for a +1 Earthquake, which does 43. So yeah, nothing. and yeah, Bullet Punch kills him off in turn 11. And now he sends in Victini, so at this point, I really don't need Mega Scissor. So after rocks, it's at 33%. So that's not going to survive Manaphy or um, Mismagius or close combat from Lopunny. So I don't really need Sizzle at all at this point. So I just decide to sack it, especially because Goodra is at a range where it won't take 2 recreates. So I just Bullet Punch for a little damage, and he kills me with recreate. And now here is so he's at -1 defense and speed, so I can send in many things to revenge kill. I can send in Coco, Tornadus, or even Drapion. And I choose Drapion. The reason for that is because Drapion maintains momentum. So let me explain why. So Drapion is my out of my offensive ones. Drapion is the most disposable. Coco and Torn are important, especially for Manaphy and Megalopony, but Drapion I don't really care about. I have enough for Spagius at this point anyway. So, you know, if he sends in like Manaphy, I can whirlwind it out. Jesus Christ, these kids. If he sends in Lopunny or whatever else, I don't mind just sacking off the Drapion and then gain momentum by sending in what I want. So that's why I go for Drapion to revenge kill this Teeny rather than anything else, because it is the most disposable Pokemon and it will maintain momentum. So yeah, I do go for a knockoff on this -1 Teeny as he switches out to Mega Lopunny, which gets poisoned. Where are the Toxic Spikes gone? They're not there. It's supposed to be there, but they're not here. But yeah, whatever. That takes 30 plus poison, now at 58, and I just make the easy switch to Tangrowth, which hard walls this as he goes for close combat, which only does 33, 36. And yeah, I mean, I can just Giga Drain, it kills at this range, -1 defense, he's poisoned, so I just go for Giga Drain, get a little health back, and kill him off. So yeah, it's looking really clean at this point. He sends in Victini, so at this point, I don't need Tangrowth. It doesn't check Mismagius because I have literally 0 special defense, and of course it won't check Manaphy because of Ice Beam. So Tangrowth is sackable at this point, so I do sack it off and keep the Goodra. And now I go to Drapion. Same reason as before, I'm going to go to Drapion to revenge kill Teeny rather than anything else because it maintains momentum. So yeah, I knock off and he sends in Mismagius to die. Mismagius is dead now, he was holding a life orb. And now he sends in the Teeny. Yeah, I think at this point, I mean, of course I can just sack Drapion, but I mean, the game is wrapped up at this point. But I think at this point, the reason I switched to Goodra is because I wanted to keep Drapion. And the only reason I did that was just for its KDs, because I thought Drapion did really well with this game with the Toxic Spikes and, you know, revenge killing. So I wanted to kind of reward it by not letting it sack off. So I just chose Goodra to die instead. It wasn't like a calculated play, it's just something like I personally chose. So yeah, Goodra dies off. The Teeny falls to -1 speed. And let me explain here, the reason I Fire Punch here rather than Dragon Tail is because I don't want to kill this Teeny. I don't want Manaphy as last one. Or if he, of course I would phase to Manaphy if I Dragon Tail, and he can like Tail Glow and I potentially miss the Dragon Tail while he kills me off, and then for example maybe he's Wackenberry, so Coco can't kill it at that range, and then he can potentially win if Coco doesn't kill, and maybe it survives Acro from Torn as well. So that's why I just prefer to leave the Teeny in and sack off the Goodra, and now I go to Drapion. So the reason, no, Coco. Yeah, so Coco here obviously will clean up because it's just gonna Wild Charge, and you know it prevents Manaphy from setting up, and we do see that he is actually Wackenberry, so he does live. Does 63 still, but yeah, and so he revenges me with Surf. So yeah, I mean that's the end of the game. Coco like guarantees this thing can't set up, so that's why I sent it out there. And then we send in our faster Pokemon Tornadus to revenge kill this, and that is good game. So yeah, good game to Skaggerakk. It was a pretty good team. I mean, the Boots Genie was a problem, so that was a good bring. But I mean, overall, I think the matchup was quite easy for me. Him not having Poison type or removal was like a huge setback for him. and just throughout the battle, I always felt comfortable. There was like there was like at no point where I felt I was worried I was going to lose. So yeah, I mean he did change his team after this anyway. But yeah, good game to Skaggerakk, and see you guys next time.